Using Web 2.0 and emerging technology in your classroom. Emerging Technology for Today's Learners by Cheryl Watts.
Well, another new app coming out. Let's see. How can we make this work? Hi Miss Green, that is so cool. That reminds me. I have to go check my blog to see how many more likes I got today. If I only get a few, or someone tags me and I miss it, that's so lame. I have to stay relevant, you know. I have to check it at least 3 times before class. Relevant. With blogs, Instagram, tweets and new apps coming out every day, we have to figure out how to keep new tech relevant so our students can use it for class, but not be distracted from the actual assignments. That's the challenge.
Welcome to this course on learning technology for today's classroom. We will expose you to a few ideas that have been used that offer the experience of collaboration in Web 2.0 and explore some emerging technologies for relevance and problem solving. Emerging technology. What's involved? Hi, have you ever been curious about new technologies to use in your classroom? I have some ideas for you. Right now, we're going to cover animation, what it is, along with coding with circuitry and coding with Wolfram Alpha. For any professional, it can be beneficial to have a variety of approaches and activities in your repertoire. If the role of teaching includes guiding learners to independent research, thinking, and living, then we can facilitate this by creating an environment where they can not only create an artifact, but also realize their options. Considering potential roadblocks to implementing these ideas brings the following questions to mind among many. What if there's no additional budget available? Many activities are online and free. With average internet connections becoming more accessible, learners can benefit from others in a different time zone and location. What if we are in a different time zone than our peers? You can visually record a message for them to retrieve later. If the network you use does not support video very well, audio is a lower cost means of communicating that uses less data. Written text can also be shared, or photos, in a collaborative space such as Padlet. Learning is greatly improved when reinforced in students' everyday lives. It helps to offer them an activity that can be practiced or observed outside of their traditional learning space, such as in their home or a community center. In an article on the next generation of educational engagement, the writer, Oblinger, posits that preferences for learning by millennials are geared toward teamwork, experiential activities, structure, and the use of technology. Their strengths include multitasking, goal orientation, positive attitude, and a collaborative style. There are differences of people, just as there are differences in practices and experiences. This does not necessarily characterize a person's ability to learn or their capabilities. With that in mind, the need to prepare for an alternative structure of criteria may be necessary. New movements in cognitive science and the learning sciences began to argue that the mind is furnished primarily not by abstract concepts, but by records of actual experience. Animation is a proven technology that increases comprehension measurably. In this presentation, we used Plotagon in the introductory video at the beginning. That animation was made using a free software tool that you can use in your class, and it's free for educators. It can also be used by students. Sometimes the best way to get the message across is through pictures and words as opposed to words alone. So there are a number of things you can do with Scratch coding. You can create games. You can create multiplayer games, and games have been proven to be effective tools for learning. You can customize the inputs and the outputs. You can create action-based scripts where a student does one thing and it's followed by a particular action. You can also use the online community for multiplayer games. There are groups that are well established, even in Scratch coding, that you can go to get extra input and ideas. There is an engine where you can take advantage of code ideas to start or drop in segments to enhance what you're already building. This is a tool that students really enjoy playing, and it can be used online or offline, by the way. We talked about the online part of it earlier, but you can use it offline. So it has multiple applications. You can use it with circuitry. You can use it standalone, just in coding and scripting and animation. So I encourage you to explore and see which side works best for you. Coding teaches critical thinking skills and more. There are a number of tools available for coding that are free of charge. The requirements to use Scratch are a good internet connection and a browser, of course. This particular coding application is provided in scratch.mit.edu and is used on screen as well as can be used for external projects. The external projects have additional costs for components. This particular tool also offers guides for teachers as well as students. Many ideas are freely available online, and it offers collaboration as well as the basic idea of learning to navigate the on-screen environment fluently, as well as communicating with your peers. So my challenge now is to figure out how to make this circuit work and then turn it on. So the first thing right now is I'm connecting the LED in the card to the battery and make sure that it will work in this setup before I tape anything down. After that, I'm going to investigate how to make the card open and light the LED. So
one thing at a time. Okay, so I've connected the wires. Now let's see if it will work. Okay, so I can see the LED comes on. I don't know if you can see it through this. So now I have to figure out how to make it come on when I open the card.
There are a number of tools available for coding. Most of these are free of charge, and they don't require much except the basic internet connection and browser access, of course. Scratch is offered by MIT, that's at scratch.mit.edu. It can be used on screen and for external projects as well. The external projects have additional costs associated with them. There are components and more that are necessary to produce the projects that are interactive outside of a desktop. But these resources will offer you tools and guides to help make the transition smooth for the students and teachers as well. It shows how a workshop should flow and offers ideas and suggestions, even plans and coding for whatever it is that you want to allow your students to learn. And of course, it's a good guide for you as well while you're learning. So it's well worth getting familiar with. Potential uses for emerging technologies in the classroom include those programs that will allow you to create 3D art. 3D programs will allow you to create ideas on a computer, and then they can be printed through a 3D printer. Such examples of software for 3D include Tinkercad. There is a free version of Tinkercad, but there's also a paid version. So you have to be careful in which one you use. This particular image of a house or a building was created using the free style Tinkercad. Other things using Scratch coding, we made an Arduino based circuit board. This was a lighthouse.
and its light can flash based on the LED components that was used in the circuit. Again, this is for hands-on learning, and your classroom may benefit from it as well. Another idea was this wearable art. This was a pen coated within the scratch coating environment, and this is the back and the front of the pen, and you'll see how it can be used. Can you think of other ideas?
Wolfram Alpha is the focus of this session. It provides a virtual immersive environment where users can come to learn, share, practice, and explore a range of knowledge and gain experiences. It offers us the ability to be immersed in an environment that is safe, built for learning, and is suitable for different learning levels and details. Wolfram Alpha comes in a free and paid version as well, with special rates for educators and students. Pricing for educators ranges, but is still very affordable. At the time of this recording, it's $7.99 per month for Pro Premium, billed annually. And it comes with a variety of options available. In this immersive environment, you and your students can take part in practice finding curated data that uses artificial intelligence to assemble information from various trustworthy sources. To access this page for the free online environment, enter www.wolframalpha.com. The difference in the paid version is that it offers additional supports and accesses to specific information such as step-by-step instructions for problem solving and customizable data for your group or class. Site licenses are available by the classroom or for an entire campus. There are various supports available. It has a comprehensive support section that will give you overview of the platform itself, the different topics. It offers a community. There is technical support as well. But for those who are not necessarily as strong in technical arena, there is a lot of help available. There is training, whether you're learning programming or just how to use this app. There are tutorials in the Wolfram community itself. And as I said, there are various things you can learn. You can learn topics and subject areas, or you can even learn coding. And they have a special area for students where they can learn coding, and they have a project for that. In the free version, there is the free access open cloud. In here, you can create a notebook where students are able to make colors. They can create geographic circles and shapes. They can solve problems and more. And this is just with the free version. Wolfram Alpha is a versatile tool that can be used in the classroom and for personal information growth. This tool ranges from elementary math through calculus and more. You can spend time with one-on-one solutions, various topics,
chemistry, exploring culture, and everyday life. For instance, if you had a question about a particular topic in arts and media, you would follow that link. Once you follow it, you'll find different topics are returned in the search result. You simply click on the one that's most interesting to you. For instance, if you have a question about a movie, television, society, even video games, you just follow the link as it was returned in the search. For example, if you're looking up a work of art, what was the age of Leonardo when the Mona Lisa was painted? And you follow that link, and it will demonstrate to you the response. Now, there is a free version and there is a paid version that gives you more results. The response to that question shows he was 50 years old. And then, for those of you that are teaching math, you can use a conversion for 50 years. It breaks it down by days, hours, minutes, even Gregorian decades, and degrees. So whatever your question, you can type in and get a response in Wolfram Alpha. This is a very versatile tool, and I'm sure your students will enjoy exploring its benefits time and time again. So now we come to the point where we need to start to consider if this is really for us. For one thing, there are many students who will disengage with too much reading. After a while, you know the ones, looking at a text or just reading on-screen text, their eyes will glaze over after a while. And if you ask them about what they read, they probably couldn't tell you because they were just trying to get finished. Meanwhile, teachers have so much to do. At the same time, they're being evaluated on what is exceptional, new, and innovative in their style, even though they're already being stretched beyond what's been identified as optimal levels, with no relief in sight. Doing more with less is almost a proverb, especially in public schools, unfortunately. So where can we capitalize on the technologies that we already have? For one thing, with these tools that were mentioned in this talk, many of them are free and online. So they allow you to take advantage of the existing infrastructure you already have. Very minimal extra budgets, if any, are necessary to execute these programs. To argue about budgets can be a thing of the past if you use these tools that are free, such as Plotagon, Wolfram Alpha, and Blockly, which is a derivative of Scratch. Sometimes it's worth it, just because it makes your life easier. Yes, there may be a small cost associated with sometimes, but the benefit definitely outweighs the risk. And just think about it. The sooner you grab hold of this e-technology and get trained on it, the better for both you and your students. Why, you may ask? Well, programming course goals are usually very clearly defined in public education. When we take time, though, as leaders, to learn a new tool, we improve not only ourselves, but we make it better for our environment as well as our community at large. And this is the way education is going now. Everything's in the cloud. Everything is online. So this is a very economical way to get the work done and still exploit the capabilities of the technology with a very low ramp-up period. Now, granted, the more you learn, the more you discover there is to learn sometimes. However, with Wolfram, it makes learning easy and it makes it a joy and a pleasure. And you can do a lot with it in just a little bit of time. There are many teachers at various levels in the educational system that use these technologies and are reaping the benefits, and so are their students. Students are better prepared when they go for testing to reach the next level. So it's important that we stay on top of current trends in technology and keep our students well informed as well. We're here to help have them prepare for their future. And the future is now with technology. It's not going away, it's increasing. So we need to grab hold of this technology train and keep going with it. The sooner we start on it, the farther ahead we'll all be.
In this session, we have covered emerging technology and Web 2.0, the tools to problem solve that include opportunities for collaboration locally and over distances. We talked about animation and creating a lesson or story with Plotagon, a free online animation software tool. We saw how Scratch can be used as a community to build and expand the learning experience and teach critical thinking. We also explored some community activities that take learning beyond the traditional classroom with hands-on activities. Finally, the most versatile tool in this session is Wolfram Alpha, which is a cloud-based interactive platform that is good for knowledge generation, research, and exploring data and topics for various levels of learners.
And now for you. Your task is to try out one of these technologies to see which one might fit you and your class. Think about which of these stand out to you the most. And then we invite you to go ahead and try it. Try one, two, or all three of them. And then be thinking about what you believe your students would take from this experience if they were to do it. So I invite you to select one of the technologies we talked about in this presentation and then complete an example from that technology. For each one, there are examples included in the browser-based version. They're all browser-based, the main limitation being the space available on your computer to download, if you choose the animation, the Plotagon, and then for the video to run, you will need a certain amount of memory space to do that. So go ahead, give it a shot. Try the animation, coding, or Wolfram Alpha examples. Do one, two, or all three. Then post your results to the blog at createthedo.blogspot.com. And don't forget to include your name, school, and email address, why you think this tool would be beneficial to you and your classmates or class students. What would be easiest about using this tool for you, and what did you find difficult about using the tool? So share that information with us. Take a picture if you like, and put it on the blog spot. Here are the links to the tools we discussed in today's episode. And thank you for viewing our text today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll look forward to hearing from you on the blog. Thank you.